Hey everybody, Shawshank Redemption here to kick off the 91-92 season, which is year 9 of this so-called rebuild. More of a continuation of the great Indiana Pacers dynasty at this point, coming off 5 championships. We kept the team relatively the same, even though it took a lot of re-signing, so had to re-sign Miller, Rodman, Kellogg, Petrovic, so most of the guys at the bottom are new to the team, but as long as injuries aren't crazy, won't be seeing much playing time. Here's what the rotation looks like. I could go 8-man rotation, but that seems kind of silly for regular season. So we do have Drazen playing a few minutes like he did last year. Took Kellogg down a few, took Rodman down a few to allow some more minutes for these up-and-coming bench guys, Peyton, Rice, and Kemp. The thought is Drazen will be traded likely once he's eligible. I don't think he really has that much of a spot on the team. And I have Del Curry here who could kind of do the same thing that Drazen would. We'll see what else happens. Rick Fox was our draft pick with the 13th pick. We traded back to get him because I had the 7th pick originally, but gained some future picks to be able to move back. And I think everything's good to go. That was the rotation. We got the training and mentoring ready to go. Went through the league and fixed some numbers and positions for people. I do want to call out something that on an earlier video, somebody had called out that Olajuwon's first name automatically changes when you get to the 91-92 season, and you are absolutely right. It did automatically change. What's crazy to me about that is that he was in a draft class, right? Because he was in the first year. We started in 83-84. He was in a draft class as Akeem Olajuwon, and now 7 years later becomes Hakeem. So it must be written into his coding somehow that once you hit that year, you change his name. But I would have believed that if he was in the roster originally, but he's in the draft class and accustomed at that because I edited everybody. So that's really cool. I don't know if there's anything else like that happens. The one thing that I would be curious about is if Michael Jordan ever loses his hair, or if I would have to go download his future model and bring over that appearance. I probably won't be doing that because I'd have to probably consider that for several other people. But if anybody knows anything else cool like that Olajuwon's name changes, anything else that happens, I'd be curious to know. All right, and as a reminder, we're going into this will lead into the 92 draft, where I have, I think, 10 first-round picks at the time, going Shaq hunting. Most of the bad teams I do have, so the Bulls are bad, the Jazz are bad, the Nuggets seem to be really bad. The Rockets and Hawks, I think, are the two teams that seem to be pretty good that I probably, if I can, I'll trade them at the deadline, maybe to pair with one of the other guys I'm trading to see what I can get, because I won't need those. And I know I won't need all of these in the 92 draft. I'm really just hoping to get Shaq, and then I have a decision to make on what to do with Ewing. But all the other picks will be traded probably for future picks. I already have quite a few of those as well. I've got the Sonics and Mavs in a swap with the Magic. In 93 and 94, I've got the Hawks and Kings and Rockets. In 95, I still have my own plus the Spurs, and then we just got access to the 96 picks. So stocking up for 96 might be the best option after we get through 92, so we can see who from that great draft class we can get. So without further ado, let's get going. Last year had another great regular season. We'll see if we can continue that. We start off with 2 wins, 7-point win over the Cavs. I'll have to kind of refresh myself on who switched teams. Kendall Gill's in his second year. So far, off to a great start because he got 34 points against me. And in the first game, Stockton leads the team in points. Ewing, 6 blocks. He's coming off his second Defensive Player of the Year and first MVP season. Reggie, a decent game. Kellogg flirted with a triple-double. Sean Kemp with a double-double off the bench. Rodman did pretty much nothing in his 25 minutes. And then a 40-point win over the Kings. So they have Abdul Rauf, Hornacek. Earlier when I said I was changing some positions for people, like this is a team, they didn't have a center. Their top center would have been him, and he's fake. So what I did is I made Jason Williams, who played center some in his career, made him a center because he would have been on a roster like this. So I'm kind of giving them a little bit of help where I can, so that one, they can do a little bit better, and two, we don't have as many fake guys playing. Thankfully, we don't have as many fake guys in the league or signed to teams, but every once in a while, those, especially those that get drafted, they end up in the rotation to some extent. So here's our first already 4 20-point games. John Stockton is scoring a lot in these first two. Interesting to see. Rodman had a much better game in that one, getting his rebounds, steals, at a block. Ewing with a double-double, another 4 blocks. Good stuff. Oh my, well, that Bullets game is something else. That's a 47-point win. But here's a 28-point win over the Jazz. Gave them their first loss. There's Ewing breaking out for 31. Miller played a lot of minutes because Stockton fouled out in 19. Peyton also played some extra, but didn't do much with them. Double-double for Kellogg. Glenn Rice is up there. Got 21 points without making a 3. Here's the Jazz. Dale Ellis, I think, is still their top scorer. And Sleepy Floyd, I think, continues to be their best player overall. 23-point win over the Bucks, who have not won a game yet. Reggie leads the team. Kellogg with a great game. Ewing great again. Stockton has been a scoring machine so far, other than that game he fouled out. This time Payton fouled out in 15 minutes. Not sure what's up with that. The other potential trade I might make is Rodman if he continues to shoot 40%. I know I've said he's kind of a perfect fit on this team because he doesn't have to score with all these other guys who need to score, but if I trade him, I can also play Glenn Rice and John Kemp more, potentially. So we'll see if that happens. The Bucks drafted Billy Owens with the second pick. He seems to be off to a good start. They have some interesting young pieces on the team, but not very competitive at this point. The Bullets are 1-2. Charles Barkley had 7 points on 2 for 11 shooting. Darwin Cook was 1 for 14. Not a good shooting game for the Bullets, who got their big free agent pickup in Kiki Vandeweghe. Reggie with 29, 3 threes. Kellogg went 2 for 4 from downtown. Another great stat line there for Clark. Stockton settled down, fouled out again. My point guards are fouling out. I don't know what's happening. Continue here. All right, 4 more wins up to 9-0. A 30-point win over the Warriors, who are 6-2. They added Purvis Short, got him back after 5 years away from the team. But they have Danny Manning, who's a stud. They've got Coleman, who's also a stud, but shooting guard continues to be their weak spot. Patrick Ewing with an amazing game. Reggie, 9 assists, might be a career high for him. Stockton not getting 20-plus points, which is good. I'd much rather see him around 13. We've got a 16-point win over the Nets, who are also decent. They did sign both Richmond and David Robinson. So here's Mitch, who for whatever reason went down 1 overall in the offseason. Don't understand it. David Robinson fouled out and only had 7 points, 5 rebounds. So they didn't really have much of a chance. Patrick Ewing looks like he was the one getting fouled. 15 of 16 from the line, though he fouled out as well. So did Rodman. We've had a lot of foul outs so far in the year. but still winning. There's a 38-point win. The Kings are 0-9. Ouch. So 3 guys over 20. Stockton almost a fourth. Kellogg. See, I'd rather have Kellogg scoring that than Stockton, but I won't be too upset if we keep up the winning. Mark Macon, who was the 6th pick. Not doing very well, it looks like, shooting-wise. And then barely beat the Magic. The Magic have a nice little roster, so they've got Dominique, whose scoring has gone down a bit. Tim Hardaway, who is quickly becoming one of the best point guards in the league. And they just signed Alvin Robertson, who's a great defensive player on the perimeter. Stockton leads the team again. I'm not sure. His shot tendency is pretty low, so I'm not sure why he's leading the team so much. But hey, if he wants to be an MVP this year, go for it. Reggie really struggled on that one. Let's keep chugging along here. First trade offer is J.R. Reed and Bernard King for Glenn Rice and Rick Fox. I'm going to go ahead and say no. Bernard's like 35 or 36. Reed, that's probably as good as he's ever going to get, and I hope Rice can still get a little bit better than that. Glenn Rice again, so Danny Ferry and a 96 first. No thanks. That was them, right? Didn't it say Rockets? Or no, it was Hawks. That's right. 14-point win over the Pistons. Brian Williams, yep. He was the 11th pick. They also had the 4th pick in Steve Smith. So they are totally rebuilding. Nick Anderson is their best scorer at this point. Their best player. Oof. Is it Steve Smith? Well, it's Nick Anderson, I think. Is he hurt? Yeah, I'm going to say he's better than 74. Kellogg leads the team this time. Stockton with yet another double-double. Kemp also getting double-doubles off the bench. Peyton with a 5-5-5 game. Reggie only 10 points. 5 turnovers. 30-point win over the Cavs. We allowed 9 points in the 4th quarter. That's helpful. Ewing with 33 and 14. Played a couple extra minutes, but nobody fouled out. Kemp didn't play his minutes, so I wonder if he got hurt at some point, maybe. Must not have been for more than the game, though, because it never popped up. 12-point win over the Rockets. Ralph Sampson leads the team. This team, so they're only 5-6. They've got 7 80 overall players, I think. Or 6 at least. These top 6 are all 80 plus. I thought they had a 7th. Maybe somebody's hurt. Glenn Rice leads the team. Ewing only shot 11 times, but got 16 rebounds. Be interesting to look at the stats. So far, 20 assists for Stockton. Love seeing that. Another win over the Nets. This time BJ's leading the team. This is his 3rd season. David Robinson again, only 8 points. What's he doing? He's 93 overall. By far the best player on this team. And he's only averaging 16 points so far. Give him the ball, guys. Ewing with 29. Stockton just a double-double machine. Kellogg keeps getting lots of assists for some reason. Gary Payton 4 steals, 11 assists. See, when Rodman's not even getting rebounds, that's what concerns me. All right, finishing out November, 16-0 as of December 1st. Beat the Spurs by 13. So this is a team, they have Mullen, Doherty, and they just drafted somebody. I can't remember. We'll see here in a minute. Kellogg, not good, 5 for 15. Ewing fouled out in 24 minutes. So just a spread out game here. Nobody in particular had a great game. Peyton off the bench was good. Kenny Anderson's who I couldn't think of. They just drafted Kenny with the 8th pick to be their point guard. So they have a nice trio of Anderson, Doherty, and Mullen, but really not much else. Divok's getting better as a backup center, but still not as good as he'll be. Their other starters, I think, are Wingate and must be Banks. Power forward. 29-point win over the Bullets, who are still not good. Poor Charles Barkley's been kind of stuck on a mediocre team, and he never got above like an 86 overall, I think. Ewing, great. Miller, great. Pretty good game. Stockton struggled. 9 assists for Peyton, 4 steals. Love seeing that off the bench. Barkley is only averaging 15 and 10 now, shooting worse. He is an 86. Maybe he was up to an 87 at some point. I mean, he's had a solid career, but nothing close to the MVP type numbers he put up in real life. And then a total annihilation of the Knicks, 55-point win. They're 5-12. I do have their pick, I believe, in that list. 20-20 game for Patrick. Kellogg, a point away from a double-double. Stockton, yeah. I'd rather see more 8 and 15 games than his, 25 and 15 games. On the Knicks, they did have the first pick. They got Larry Johnson, who will likely be Rookie of the Year, I would imagine, because the Knicks, other than Bernard King, don't really have anybody. Bernard's points are down a little bit. He's 34 years old. They did re-sign Muggsy to be their point guard. They got Kevin Johnson playing, pretty big minutes as a 74 overall backup. Let's go check out what's happened around the league here in the first month. We did have a trade. We had Ricky Pierce for Tate George. The Bucks have already fired their coach and hired James Silas. So, interesting. They made a trade because they were the team that hadn't won. No, that was the Kings. I'm guessing the Bucks are pretty terrible too. Let's see their record. 1-13. The Kings are 1-15. Oh boy. Injury report. Well, that's not going to help the Kings. Abdul Rauf has already lost for the season. That's very painful for them. Rod Strickland for Minnesota is also out for season. Doug West for Boston, one of their key reserves, is out for season. Michael Jordan has also torn his calf. He was actually scoring too. They let him score. He's playing more minutes. Oh man. Maybe that's why they don't play that many minutes. They tear things. The first awards of the year, we got Stockton and Ewing getting Player of the Week. We got James Worthy, who returned to the Lakers after leaving for Denver for several years. The Lakers and Blazers dominating the West as usual. We got Sabonis, Robinson, and Jordan. Player of the Month goes to Ewing and Magic. And Rookie of the Month, Larry Johnson and Kenny Anderson. Let's take a look at some stats to see if any minutes need to change. So John Stockton is amazing as usual. Oh my God, that says 61% at threes. He's 17 of 28. He's 87 at them, but that doesn't always matter. He's scoring more points than last year, a little lower in assists and fewer steals. I was hoping his steals could get up because he definitely got more steals than that throughout his career. Reggie, his points are down, shooting's down a little bit. I am playing him a bit more. That's one option to take a minute away from him. Was Stockton playing his minutes? No, because he did foul out in at least one game, maybe two. Rodman, he is shooting better, 46%. I have him playing 3 fewer minutes. Per 36, his rebounds are about the same. Still getting steals and blocks, so okay, he can stay where he's at. Kellogg, who was mad at me last year, seems okay so far this year. Still doing very consistently. Patrick is playing about the same. and getting more rebounds and scoring a bit more. So nothing I want to change there. GP off the bench. I got him playing 6 more minutes, almost 7 more minutes. He appears to be ready for the spotlight. His overall is now 86, holy moly, in his second year. We got Glenn Rice, who is a big-time scorer off the bench. I have him playing a little bit more this year as well. Sean Kemp is doing much better in his additional playing time. His field goal percentage has slowly been, actually not slowly, quickly been increasing. 6% from first to second year, and now so far 6 more percent. A little better seeing that from him. And Drazen actually is doing well in his minimum playing time. Alright, so the only thing I would maybe change is take a minute from Reggie. Let's go ahead and do that. Either Peyton or Drazen. Where could it make sense? Reggie's not getting much of a rest at all in the second half. But that's a long stretch if I make Peyton take those. Let Drazen randomly start the fourth quarter. Or we do this, we do this, and we do this. Let's try that. That becomes my new lineup. So Peyton gained another minute. Whoops. Of course, I just didn't save it. But, well, I saved the rotation, but I exited without applying. There we go. Keep. All right. I don't think we can do the mock draft quite yet, so let's keep on going. The Nuggets will be interesting to see what their record is because they had the worst roster when I looked through. All right, here's the 92 class. We're definitely going to be scouting Shaquille O'Neal. Decent guys, not like a huge class. It's Shaq and Mourning, really, for the big standouts. Go by position here. Point guards, David Wesley had the best career of those guys. You got Jim Jackson, Latrell's down here. Doug Christie had a nice career. We got Tracy Murray, Big Shot Bob, Popeye, Googs, PJ Brown, Oliver Miller is 280 pounds. So, not a super great class, but has Shaquille O'Neal, so it's pretty good. All right, 3 more wins. We got 27-point win over the Nets. We beat them 3 times already. We are 3 of their 5 losses. Clark Kellogg leading the team this time. Peyton did get his 25 minutes. Somebody, well, I guess sometimes the minutes are a little bit off. Richmond leads the team. He is getting 20 points still, so his overall is not going up, but his points are still good. All right, 15-point win over the Pistons, who are really struggling. A couple double-doubles, Ewing and Stockton. Reggie went 34 minutes without shooting a 3. That's interesting to see. Nick Anderson gets 32 points on me. He's having a great season so far. Steve Smith struggled. He fouled out as well. 4th pick, having pretty good year it looks like. And then the Nuggets are 2-15. Their roster is like absolute garbage. I mean, nothing against Tom Chambers, but he's 32 and 80 overall, and he's by far their best player. There's a reason he's getting 21 points a game now. They've got Tony Campbell also getting 20 points a game. Michael Cooper, who's 35 now, isn't much of a scorer. They did sign Ruland, who's decent at center, but 32. Also not a scorer. Mike Mitchell, 35. So they're very old and don't really have any sort of star power on this team. So That's my guess for number one pick, but the Kings and Bucks seem to be putting up a fight. 2020 game for John Stockton. Ewing had an amazing game as well. Didn't shoot 50% though. Still managed to get 33 points. Rodman 2 and 15. Still like the one guy I would just love to see that out of consistently. All right, getting through first half of December. 4 more wins, 23 and 0. We get a 42-point win over the Heat, who again, MJ is hurt. They're just over 500. Adrian Dantley, you'd think, would be picking up the scoring with MJ out. Thought that, yeah, they signed Kevin Willis. He's only averaging 10 points. That's interesting. He was scoring quite a bit on the Lakers. And really, on this team, he's probably number one, maybe number two option behind Dantley. Reggie leads the way with 33. Ewing's been a little less consistent, I would say, to start the season than he was last year. A lot of games in the teens versus what we were used to with his MVP season. Here's a 40-point win over the Bucks, who now have 3 wins. They're 3 and 19. Purvis Ellison in his third year, doing pretty well. This team, I think when I looked through, had like 6 point guards. I forget who I think I changed Gus. Yeah, I changed Gus to a shooting guard just so they could like have some depth at other positions. Looks like are they starting Mookie? They have a little bit. But he's only 74. But they have Adams, they have Matthews, they have they have Webb. And then they traded for Tate George, who also, he could probably be changed to a shooting guard too. There we go, Ewing. 34 and 12, only missed 2 shots. Glenn Rice, another great game off the bench. Kellogg has some of these games where he misses 10 shots and only makes a few. Sonics are another pick that I have, so beating them by 42 is nice. They're not terrible, but not a great record either. Ewing played 40 minutes in this one because Kellogg fouled out and Kemp fouled out. Got 3 threes for Johnny up here. Sonics have a decent squad. They've got Xavier still. Pippen was their big signing because the Suns decided not to match for some reason. They drafted Augman with the 10th pick. And then the Timberwolves we beat by 19. They're 10 and 13. Rick Smits is their best player. Scoring is down a little bit. They don't really have other scorers. Anthony Mason's not much of a scorer. Derek McKee's not much of a scorer. Horace is not much of a scorer. It's really more of a defensive team. Ewing and Miller with 20 plus. I don't like these games where Kellogg can't make a shot and Rodman doesn't make any of his. His percentage is still better than it has been since his first couple of years. And he's not mad about not playing a whole lot of minutes. Took him down this year. All right, we're getting close to Christmas here. We got to keep scouting. Whoops. Get these top guys taken care of. Oh. Last season, we went through the whole year with, I think, maybe 2 minor injuries. Kellogg was out for like a couple games, and I forget who else. That's not great. So, I think Sean Kemp becomes the starting center. The other option is Mark Eaton, but he would have to play like max 20 minutes. Oh boy. If Sean Kemp is center, Rodman probably plays more power forward, and then Rice takes more minutes. So let's see. It is going to be Mark Eaton getting in the rotation. See how that goes. Bring up Mark Bryant down here. Just give these minutes away here. And we'll start from the normal rotation and then go from there. So Kemp is not going to be playing 37 minutes. I know that. So let's get Eaton in there. Kemp can start. We're going to try to give all the center minutes to Kemp and Eaton. There's a chance that John Sally can break this rotation. We'll see. Maybe we go 10-man here for a little while. Maybe we do like 30 minutes for Kemp and 18 for Eaton. Sounds like a lot. Sounds like a lot. If we give Rodman, let's give Kellogg another minute. These need to be power forward. So that has to be Kellogg or Rodman, or this is where John Sally comes in. Although Sally and Eaton together sounds like a terrible front court. We still would have Rice and Peyton in for scoring. Ugh. The other option is, would starting Eaton help? I feel like starting Eaton is going to make me lose some games. Because he's 74, 75. We could also let's do this. What if Rodman comes back in like that, and then he doesn't play that one because that goes to Rice, and then we try to do something similar here. Rice, Kellogg, Rodman. I think Kellogg, I mean, he's only 30 years old, so he can play these minutes. I was just letting the younger guys play. And then maybe he goes up to 33. Rodman's at 29. That's fine. Rice gained a couple minutes, or 3 minutes. And Mark Eaton at 18 is kind of scary. But let's see how it goes. I think he played that much for whatever team he was on last year. Do I even have a no Ewing lineup? I do. Yeah, because he got hurt in the playoffs several years ago. All right. Well, Drazen's still stuck at 7 minutes. Rice becomes now my 6th man based on playing time. Eaton, he only shoots 40%. He did play 25 minutes last year for the Cavs. So it seems like 18 is doable. He started 4 of those games. He has, I think, 80 stamina or something like that. 81. That's decent. He's super defensively consistent. He's not a terrible rebounder, but maybe this will help Rodman get more rebounds as well. Okay. Here we go. Let's see if we can continue winning without Patrick Ewing. This will be interesting. We're 25-0. First game without Ewing. Here we go. Oh, yeah, we won. The Hawks were really good. They were like the second best team last year, I think, in the league. All right, beat the Mavericks by 21. Reggie went bonkers with 14 of 14 free throws. We made 35 of 39 for the game. Great game for Stockton. 5 rebounds even. Kemp got 2 points and 12 rebounds. Rodman didn't score and got 8. Drazen shot all 3 of his shots for threes and missed them all. Mavericks have a pretty good lineup. They've had Tisdale now since they drafted him. They've had Aguirre this entire time, who's just super, super consistent. They've had Blackman the whole time as well, who's been very consistent. They drafted Mark Price, and they've had him the whole time. They've had a very consistent team, both the makeup of the team as well as the players and how they're performing. But they've not been like all that good, as you can tell. They're 13 and 12. All right, so this is the game Ewing got hurt. Thankfully, it was against a not very good Knicks team, although Bernard and Grandmama had good games against me. Stockton leads the team. Ewing did get to play 23 minutes, still got 10 and 7. Kemp came in and just had some fun, it looks like. Reggie was not doing so well. Rodman played some extra minutes, it looks like, too. Partly because Rice fouled out in 11 minutes. Again, that's super talented, I think, when players can do that. And then here's the game without Ewing. So the 18 and 9 Hawks, it was a very good test. Sean Kemp decided to show off in his first start, maybe of his career. Yes, first start of his career. He leads the team in scoring and beats this probably the second best team in the league. We were down by 9 at the end of the first, but held them to 12 points in the second and dominated them in the fourth. You would think Reggie Miller would be going off a little bit more with Ewing out, but I guess not. Rodman did get some rebounds. Eaton, 4 for 4, or 4 and 4, and 4 free throws, so he didn't even shoot a shot. Didn't get a block, unfortunately. That's what I want him to be doing. Got Sabonis now averaging 20 points again. He's a double-double machine as well. Danny Ferry, his scoring continues to go up. They've got Moncrief as a defensive stud. AC Green, I traded them last season. He's struggling, it looks like, from the field. All right, let's get through. We play the Nuggets on Christmas. They currently have 3 wins. We're going to hope that that's an absolute slaughter, but crazy things happen. And our first loss to the Spurs. So we start out 27 and 0 before falling to San Antonio by 13. But first we beat the Nuggets by 22. Sean Kemp leads the team yet again. Wow. Reggie, if not for free throws, would have had a poor game. Stockton was missing a lot of shots. This was not a very good shooting game. Kellogg was not good at all. Rodman, 18 rebounds. So it does help when he doesn't have Patrick Ewing to compete with on his own team to get those rebounds. Rice not doing much with his extra minutes. And here's Eaton. Still didn't get a block, but shot 3 for 6. Got to the line some more. Nuggets, as I shared, are just not very good. So the loss comes to the 12 and 15 Spurs. Kenny Anderson, rookie point guard, gets 28 points. He's shooting 48% on the year. Doherty, it wasn't even Chris Mullin who fouled out in 23 minutes. Where did we lose? The second quarter we lost by 11. That would do it. Reggie leads the team this time. Sean Kemp was back to earth. Kellogg has not been doing much. You'd think Kellogg and Reggie would be stepping it up in Ewing's absence. There's Mark Eaton's first block. He's still shooting 50%. Good to see that. I was afraid it'd be bad. And a 25-point win over the Jazz to end the week. They are over 500. It doesn't look like an over 500 team. Sleepy Floyd's also not on this list, so they either traded him or he's hurt. Stockton leads the team again. Kellogg and Reggie. We went over 3 from downtown. Reggie didn't even shoot one. Kemp with a double-double. Rodman only 1 for 6. Eaton. There you go. You don't even have to shoot. I'd rather you get more than 1 rebound, and a block, again, would be nice. That's all right. All right, let's go ahead and get into the new year, and then we'll stop and take a look at awards. But first, we've got to do some scouting. Lee Mayberry. Let's just go through, see all the real people that are in the list. Go ahead and get them done. Adam Keefe, Don McClain. Perfect. All right, 2 more wins. Now 30-1. So a 15-point win over the Sixers, who have still Moses Malone. They've got Ron Harper as well. Reggie gets 30 and 5 3-pointers. Kemp and Rice get 20 apiece. Kellogg hasn't really had a big game, I don't think, since Ewing got hurt. 15 assists for Stockton. Eaton 2 blocks. Perfect. They did sign Woolridge as well, who's getting 18 points a game. Mark Jackson's their new point guard after time in Chicago and Utah. He's yet to shoot over 40% for a season. Moses, who tried to retire, and yep, looks like he's going to be finishing off his career in Philly. He's been with the Sixers this whole time. Still doing decent as a 36-year-old. And then a 13-point win over the Pistons, who are yet to get to 10 wins. Stevie continues to put up pretty good numbers. Rice and Reggie at the top. GP off the bench. Stockton with a double-double. Drazen gets 10 points in 8 minutes. Sean Kemp was horrendous, 2 for 11. Rodman gets 5 steals. Mark Eaton is really impressing me. Let's go ahead and take a look. He is shooting 58%, by far the best of his career. He only shot 50% once. Per 36, he's getting 7 and 7 and almost a block and a half. I love it. 13 minutes a game, so he must have played a few games with only 1 minute. Good stuff. Let's go take a look at what's happened around the league. The Bucks, after making a trade, they did sign a shooting guard, so they realized they have too many point guards as well. They signed Doug Lee. There weren't many. I think in my last video I didn't look at the free agents while I was live. There really aren't any. I mean, there are some, but 70 overall is the top. Sidney Lowe, Keith Smart. The biggest name on here is probably Sarunas Marciulionis, even though he is only 70 overall and seems to be kind of stuck there. Chucky Brown, who I did sign last season after making some trades. Oh, speaking of trades, I just passed December 29th was the cutoff for when I could trade the guys I signed in the offseason, so we could do a little bit of that during this pause as well. Stacey Augmon tore his ACL. That's not good as a way to start your career. Award races. So Ewing, even though he's missed now, 2 weeks? Still at the top of the MVP race. Worthy looks like he's recovering from an injury. Magic Johnson's not even in this list. But James Worthy's averaging 26.5 points. Welcome back to LA, big game James. So Ewing getting, so far, the most rebounds of his career. Points have been very consistent lately. Blocks are down a little bit. Field goal percentage continues to be impressive. Stockton, close to a career high in points so far. Assists continue to be over 13. Steals are up to what his career high has been. And shooting a really good percentage. Rookie of the year, we got LJ, who was the first pick. Owens was the second pick. Anderson was 8th. Mutombo was 3rd. Smith was 4th. So the top 4 picks and then 8th here. And Mutombo, who we've not played the Bulls yet, so I haven't had a chance to see him. Almost averaging a double-double. Sixth man, Karl Malone. I don't think he's won it yet. He was starting for a couple seasons. Yeah. He would have had to win it as a rookie, which he didn't. So he's back on the bench and also hurt. He keeps averaging 17 points. Poor mailman. They just wouldn't let him play over Terry Cummings, and it's just really, I think, stunted his growth into the MVP candidate he should be. Kevin Johnson is on here. Defensive player, Ewing's 3rd. We got Robinson, Drexler, Olajuwon, and rookie Mutombo. That's cool. Most improved, Jeff Hornacek's averaging 17 points. After sitting on the free agent list for like 2 years, 3 years, 86. Yeah, 3 years. Although one of those years he was on my team, he just never got to play a game, so I was not very helpful in his growth. Hopefully he can stick with the team. Gary Payton is also on this list. That's cool. All right, season awards. Stockton did get another player of the week. Anderson, Hardaway, Bird, and Harper. In the West, Scottie Pippen finally broke the Lakers-Blazers trend. Pacers get another player of the month. It's Stockton, and Olajuwon gets it in the West. Dikembe and Eric Murdoch, rookies of the month. First look at the All-Star voting. Clyde and Magic. Magic is recovering from an injury. He is averaging almost 16 assists. Wow. And his scoring's up. I figured it went down because James Worthy's scoring so much, but I guess not. We got Scott Skiles, who was 6th man of the year last year and is not starting, is 4th in the All-Star voting. What is going on? He's in front of the starter, Isaiah Thomas, and the other starting guard, Derek Harper. There are not very good guards in the West, it seems. Where is everybody? Front court, we got Olajuwon, Worthy, and Mark Aguirre, who have been usually the starting three, I believe, in the past. Mullins' average is way down. It's interesting to see. Pippen and his new threads. In the East, Stockton leading the way for the backcourt. We got Reggie, who's 4th. Doesn't look like there's a good chance of him breaking in to the top 3. He'd have to be 2nd to be a starter, so that's not going to happen. Michael Jordan is back from his injury, and his scoring is unfortunately down to 20. Boo. Maybe because he's just coming back from an injury, not sure. Muggsy Bogues is here, getting 11 assists a game. Front court, Bird is in front of Ewing. Dominique is hurt as well. The Magic, we got Kellogg up here. Rookie LJ, Barkley. The East looks a little better than the West, I would say. First look at this. Let's see. So I don't have the Bucks pick. So if the Bucks end up with the number 1 pick, I have all these other picks. I have Nuggets, Pistons, Knicks, Spurs, Sonics, Bulls, Jazz, Mavs, Rockets, Hawks, Lakers. All those that I've traded for in the last however many years. By luck or by chance, I don't currently have the worst team's pick. I don't have the Kings or Bucks, so I'm rooting for the Nuggets to just keep losing. We'll see how it works out. It also doesn't mean that the worst team always gets the number 1 pick, so we'll see how the lottery plays out. But I was already considering trading the Rockets and Hawks picks because their teams looked pretty good and they were good last year, so I think I will entertain that now. Let's do a bit of a trade finder. We already looked at a couple of these guys. So Kellogg, his field goal percentage is down to 44. He's scoring less with Ewing hurt. I don't understand it. Peyton percentage has gone down a bit. He can't make a 3 evidently. He's 2 for 19. Glenn Rice is great. Reggie's great. Kemp is really propelled forward. Rodman's percentage is back to 42. He is getting more rebounds now with Ewing hurt. Drazen's the main guy I was thinking of trading. But really any of these other guys I could get a future first for, I would consider. But let's just see what Drazen gets on his own. He is 80 overall. First round pick in Vernon. Vernon's still pretty young, but I don't know that he's going to go up too much. Haywood in a first, 3D in a second. Eddie Johnson, Norman Charles Oakley, who does not shoot a good percentage. Tyrone Hill in a first, so 96, that's an interesting consideration. The Mavericks, while they're pretty good, By 96, they might not be. Tyrone could be a good backup big guy. That's probably the best one so far, the one I like the most anyway. Doc, the Rifleman, and a first from the Rockets. Not really something I need when I have Glenn Rice. Joe Dumars, who's capped out at an 80 overall, it seems. Watley. Blazers are always good, so I don't want their picks. Big Smooth. Hobson. Elo and Drew. Derek Smith in a first. Michael Cage in a first. So let's add one of these first. Let's do the Hawks, since they seem to be very good. It's 2 stars, so it might change some of these things. Luke Longley in a swap. 3D and a 96 first. Oh, man. I do love Dennis Scott, but he would play about 7 minutes like Drazen's playing. And he's coming off... He's like the Bulls' best player. They're so terrible. Which is why getting their draft pick would be intriguing. Eddie, Roberts, Macon, Chambers. That's the Nuggets' best player. Doc. There's the Suns first. It's a swap. And Joe Dumars, Watley in a first, Koncak in a first. Well, while I'm here, why not do both? Does that do anything for me? No. It made that a 94 instead of a 96. Still swapping Derek McKee. Alright. Well, Dennis Scott was interesting. Tyrone Hill probably made the most sense based on who's on my team. So who would slide in? Curry would then play these 7 minutes. Give him a chance. He played a little bit, has not shot well for the Celtics and Hawks. That's 7 down overall wise to give somebody minutes. I'd rather get somebody that could play those. Alright, before I do that, I am going to see. I don't know that I'll do it, but let's see what Dennis Rodman gets me. He makes more money, but is the same overall, so might be getting the same people. So he takes a first with him to get Dennis Scott. Manute Bull. Vern. There's Tyrone again. So Tyrone in a second. So before I think I was trading Drazen and a second for Tyrone in a first. Alright, what about them together? There's Dennis Scott again. Dan Marley, Otis Thorpe in a first. So Glenn Rice would be my starter. Thorpe would be, I guess, my backup center in a way. He's been playing 30 minutes a game, so probably not. Rivers and Lambeer, Chuck Person, Dumars again. A lot of the same guys teams are looking to trade. Alright, what if I had a first? Probably the same thing. Oh, Larry Nance and Dennis Scott. That's interesting. Because that does give me a defender to replace Rodman. He could play about the same number of minutes. I don't know whether I would start him. I'd probably still start Rice. And then Scott would take Drazen's minutes. It's interesting. Gets me a little younger here, and a player I like a bit more, and kind of similar type player here for cheaper, although he's 2 years older, and Nance scores a bit more. A lot more. like twice as much. Or I just keep it as is. I don't know, I kind of like switching things up. I pretty much re-signed everybody in the off-season. The one thing I really would like to do is probably trade Drazen, so... Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. If these are the same, probably, yeah, same stars. Do I get Dennis Scott? He still has a year left. 2 years left. Tyrone Hill is not here, unless I missed him. So they only wanted the Hawks, or no, that only popped up when I did him on his own. That's right. So that's Tyrone Hill. And then I could trade John Sally, maybe for a guard. Maybe that's what I do. So I think this is the way I'm looking right now. Then let's go see if I get Tyrone Hill, I don't need John Sally. Oh, I can't trade him. Mark Bryant, I can. Then I could get somebody maybe to play those 7 minutes that I'm a little more comfortable with. Or maybe not, because Mark Bryant's not getting me anything good. What if I add a first round pick? Mookie in a first. Nate in a first. Nate would be in his second stint. It really bothers me because he can't shoot at all. He's a great defender and distributor, but shooting is awful. Manute in a first. I'm looking for a guard here, guys, not a center. Not a center. I said not a center. So Hill. Bryant gets me an upgrade to Hill with a second. Ooh. Dino in a first. There aren't many guards. Everybody's trying to trade their centers. Well, Eaton is not who I would be trading. What was the... Oh, it's just so hard to forget about this. So it's the 93 first. The Magic have been decent for Dennis Scott. Alright. Before I pull the trigger on anything, is there anybody I really want to target? Dumars would have to play a lot more than what I'd be willing to give him. Let's see. Nope, no offers for Michael Jordan. Should I try it? Should I just go all in for Michael Jordan? I don't think so. I guess I could just go click Dennis Scott and see what pops up as well. Let's see. Drazen and a first, and I get a first back. Kemp, Rodman in a second. Which pick is this? Dallas. They're pretty decent, so I don't necessarily need that, but I'd much rather get rid of a 92. Let's get rid of that. And then maybe they'll give it to me unprotected. That actually looks like a pretty good trade, so... Counteroffer, Del Curry and a first. And they're giving me Ricky Pierce. No thanks, let's try that. Del Curry, they're giving me Johnny Newman. Let's try. Whoa, that went down a half a star. Del Curry, Johnny Newman. I will give you my 96 second, sure. Del Curry, Johnny Newman. Del Curry, Johnny Newman. Would you stop it? What did they add? Oh no, not the Bulls pick. Anything but the Bulls pick. I mean, I know it's your pick, but you're not very good. Alright, let's go back to that was like protected. We're not interested. Wow. Okay. Go the other way around, see if there's anybody. We've got... I mean, Larry Nance is interesting, but let's just try what they were offering in the first place. Drazen and a first. That's what I want to do. They're even giving another first. Or no, that's just the backup, I think. But I don't want to trade your pick. I want to trade the Hawks pick. Or the Rockets. Take your choice. Del Curry. Okay. So, what if I go all the way to 96? Boom. They added a swap where they get the better of the two. Whoops. Okay, well, the Hawks are 2 stars for whatever reason. Why? So that's swapping where they get the best of the 96s and I get another 94. They get the best of 96, which means that one's like stuck. I can't trade it. Oh, that's not bad though. That's not bad. Seems like we're close. What if 92 Atlanta for 90? Let's stick with 96 and just maybe if I give them my second that's down here. Boom, maybe? No. They would like to now swap. No, they want my Magic 93, but they're giving me their 94. What if I give you this second? 96, swapping again. Oh, come on. Okay. I don't know. Did I try Scott? Let's try the 96. $92. No, stop with the Bulls pick. You can have the Rockets pick. Not the Bulls pick. You can even have the Hawks pick. Oh my god. Now they're adding people again. Alright, this is going to be my last try at this one, I think. So Drazen, so 92, Hawks and Rockets, 2, 94, 96 for the Bulls, and then I'm giving them 2 seconds. Nope, okay. So back to what I was going to do was trade Drazen for Tyrone Hill, I believe, right? which was here. 96 for the Mavericks. Trade them my 92. Sure, why not? Boom. And then I really want to trade one of these big guys. I feel like it would have to be Mark Bryant for a guard. But I'd have to pair him with a pick, which I already tried once. Maxwell. Is that a swap in my favor? It is. Oh. That might actually make sense. Vernon Maxwell is a guard like I'm looking for. Mark Bryant really won't have any way of playing for my team. Was that the best I could do? Maybe. Blaylock in a second. There's Johnny Newman again. And then all these were big guys. Vern in a first. The Jazz are pretty terrible. Avery coming back to the team. Oh, he's shooting really bad. He's like, is he starting for them? Pretty much. Hastings, Carr, Smith, Liberty, Jaren Jackson, Jay Murphy. Alright, well, I'm liking this Vernon Maxwell because it's a pick swap in my favor. I get the best between the Hawks and Sixers? No. Is that my pick? So in reality, I just keep my pick. They have my pick, evidently. This says Indiana swap best. Atlanta. I think, yeah, let's just do it. Using up that trade exception. I want to see now, so that's swap best with Hawks. So it was my pick, but it ended up being the Hawks pretty much. So I lost nothing. I pretty much traded Mark Bryant for Vernon Maxwell. Perfect. The only other thing I could do, oh my gosh, if I could click the right thing, is trade that for something. Although I don't have a roster spot open, so probably won't happen unless I put somebody with it, which at this point I don't think I want to do. I don't think, I mean, I've lost one game, so any more trades wouldn't make much sense. We gained a first and got a nice backup that could maybe stay with the team in Tyrone. Alright, were their numbers right? 32 was Tyrone, sure. Vernon, he's about 11. 11 sounds good. Rotation-wise, so Maxwell just, I think to start off, we're going to let Curry play the 7 minutes, just so he can get a little court time. Where's my no Ewing? Curry, small forward, sure. Hear that? Actually, no. Small forward, so let's do Rick Fox. Rookie Rick Fox is going to get a little time on the court. He's 74 overall. We'll get Tyrone up there sooner. He might play over Eaton if Eaton starts doing bad. Alright, there we go. We've got 3 weeks till All-Star break, so here we go. We got an offer Chambers for Rodman. No thanks. Chambers for Rodman. No thanks. So 3 wins. There's a 35-point win over the Bullets. 26, 22, 21, 20. So here's Rick Fox's, not his first game period, but his first meaningful minutes. 6 points and a rebound. Shot 3 for 5. Nice. Rodman gets lots of rebounds. Peyton 12 assists off the bench. Charles Barkley, can you please start scoring more? 16-point win over the Hornets, who John Starks, yeah, I thought he'd average actually over 20 points because they have like nobody else to score on this team. Maybe is Gilliam scoring? No. Stockton leading the team again. 6 assists for Peyton. 16 points for Peyton. We shot very nice in this game other than Glenn Rice. Everybody made 7 shots, it seems. And then 34-point win over the Cavs, who do seem to be better. Well, they were decent last year, and I didn't understand why, really. Fox. What did Fox do in that second game? 2 points. And here he got no points, missed his 3. I guess small forward is what Drosnin was playing. I didn't think about that. But Maxwell still seemed to be probably the best player I was going to get. Alright, so now that, I think for this back-to-back, we will now switch Curry and Fox. Whoops, I don't need to load anything. I just need to switch them. Fox did decent, but I have a feeling Curry, especially with Ewing out, will be better. Eaton still deserving of his minutes, I think. Okay. Carr in a second for Eaton. Patrick Ewing has returned. Alrighty then. Got a lot of big guys now. I guess Sally goes down here. Let's just load the normal rotation. And Ewing is not going to play that much as he comes back from injury. Let's let Rodman keep some of his minutes. Like that, and maybe one more here that Kellogg can take. So instead of 37, he'll be at 32. Perfect. Whoops. So thank you, Mark Eaton, for stepping in. It was very useful. You were very productive. But Patrick Ewing needs to play. We get a win. We get to scout some more. Okay, that's everybody. Now Reggie Miller broke his leg. Okay. Well, we just traded Drazen, so I feel like Gary Payton's going to start at shooting guard. And Steve Kerr's going to play. Probably not that much. Although Steve Kerr doesn't have to play. It could be Del Curry. I don't know if it should be Del Curry. We'll see. That is not good. I'm glad that Peyton gets an opportunity, but I'm also glad that Ewing was already back. Alright, so this needs to be Peyton, that, Just Curry for now. Whoops. Sean Kemp is not playing point guard. Alright. Gary Payton's going to play every time John Stockton is not in, just as he was before. I don't know that he's going to play 34 minutes, so let's take some of those away. $33 actually doesn't sound too bad. He is already 86 overall, so. Alright. Glenn Rice might need to play some shooting guard. Let's do that. And then Rodman, and then that's a lot of uninterrupted minutes for Sean Kemp. Oh boy, he's going to foul out a lot, it seems like. So that doesn't work out very well. Maybe, how many is that? 5, 8, 11. Not quite a full quarter's worth. We need shooting guard, small forward. This is rough. So now I need to. Who's going to be my 9th man? I'm not going 8-man. It don't feel like it's Steve Kerr. It could be Mark Eaton. That could help with Kemp's crazy minutes. Let's do that. Here, because Ewing was already playing too much. Let's let. Who's missing here? We're missing shooting guard minutes. One can be him. Curry. This is not fun, guys. What is this? This is a center minute, so Mark Eaton. And then give Kemp a little break there. We need also some break for Glenn Rice here. Could be Rodman. And then we're missing what position here? Shooting guard. Del Curry's playing a lot of minutes here. So Rice did gain a lot. Rodman gained more than I expected. I'll give one for Kemp. I guess we'll try that for a little while. I do not like these stretches of Del Curry playing for so long. But the alternative would be Gary Payton or Steve Kerr playing as well. Oh my God, he's still playing here. Didn't even see that. 21 minutes for Del Curry. Okay, I feel like that's not going to happen. Let's get Rick Fox in. We'll let Rice play more shooting guard. Probably here. We'll go 10-man with Reggie out. This is kind of scary, but let's give Eaton another one here. A couple guys playing 6 minutes. Oh boy. Rodman's at 28, Kellogg's at 32, Ewing I didn't want at full blast yet. We might just ride this out till the All-Star break. We are now 10-man. We did beat the Celtics by 1. Oh boy. Marley and Paxson. No. We did still get by the Hawks. Dennis Scott for Rodman and a first. No. Alright. We're not winning by as much, but still winning. Here's a 20-point win over the Celtics. They're only 10-30. Larry Bird is still very, very good at age 35. This, in real life, was his last season in the NBA. We'll see if it works out that way here. Robert Parrish has already tried to retire. He's shooting terrible now. McHale's still very, very good. So this was Ewing's return, where he got 29, didn't shoot very well. We only made 1 3, and it was Gary Payton. Rodman got lots of rebounds. Del Curry in his first rotation minutes, I think, got 4 points. Whoops, what did I just do? There we go. Game 2 of this back-to-back. We won in overtime. This is the first overtime game, I think. This was the game Reggie got hurt in, I think. 19 points. Made a lot more threes. Del Curry made a 3 in that one. Rodman was 1 for 8. Maybe I should trade him. 8-point win over the Hawks, who are still very good. Terry Porter got 28 on me. Ewing 20 and 11. This is Peyton's first start. Hello, hello. So Gary Payton doesn't shoot well in his first start, but got 12 assists. Curry and Rodman both shot very poorly. And a 10-point win over the Sixers. Kellogg steps it up in that one. Where is Patrick Ewing? He was 2 for 12 and fouled out. That is not good. Glenn Rice only had 5 points, only shot 4 times. This was a really weird game. Kemp. A really weird game. Ron Harper got 24. He's averaging over 20 now. 2K17. Nice. Let's see who are the rookies in that one. Who was in 6? Is that like Brandon Ingram? Is that year? Alright, let's go ahead and get up to the trade deadline, and then I might entertain another trade. Oakley for Rodman. That's interesting, but no. We only beat the Bulls by 7. They're not very good. Their best player is Dennis Scott. Ewing and Kemp with 19. Kellogg double-double. Well, I will say on 2K23 this mode is worth the money I paid for it, because I really like kind of reliving the historical stuff, although with a new flavor, because obviously all these guys were not on the Pacers. But it's a really neat idea. Lets us be creative. Dikembe's still averaging almost a double-double. Alright, I am really considering trading Dennis Rodman. He's now almost under 40%. What is wrong with him? Larry Nance was the most interesting piece that I saw when I offered. Although Dennis Scott, total opposite, not playing defense. Yeah, I think the game is 60. Or maybe even, for PS5 I think it's 70. Are you on PS4, I'm guessing, because you're on 2K17? Well, I don't remember what team Nance was on. I didn't see him here. It's just Nance makes sense because of his defensive abilities. I feel like I need somebody. I've got Stockton and Ewing who play defense, but Kellogg and Reggie aren't so great, and Reggie's not even playing right now. Gary Payton does play defense. It's true. let me just go find, where's Larry Nance? I don't remember what team he was on, fortunately. I think he was 80 overall. Oh, you're on PC, gotcha. I've never played a 2K game on PC. Where the heck is Larry Nance? Oh, he was on the Bulls. Okay. First and Vernon, Kemp and Maxwell, Fox and a first, Rodman in 2 seconds. There we go. Like that seems doable. If he's gonna shoot 40%, yes, I know he's a great rebounder and a good defender, but he's shooting 40%. And Larry Nance is also a great rebounder. Well, not a great rebounder, but a great defender. Where is he? Interior 77, 82, 88. Oh, God, he's way better. 59, 63. Rebounds 99, 96. Uh-oh. Oh, no. This is not looking like a good idea. Do I just deal with Rodman's inconsistency because he's Rodman? In real life, I'm a Pacers fan. Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question about buying the game this late. Because yeah, it'll be, what is it? 2K usually comes out in September, so you still got a while before 2K24 would hit. So I I think this game, the measures they took to bring this game mode to life is pretty cool. Alright, so Rodman brings a piece to my team that nobody else does, so maybe I don't trade him. Fine. Fine. Do I trade Del Curry? It's worth the bucks. I am a Giannis fan. I've liked him since he joined the league. Can I get somebody better than Del Curry to step in? Mark Jackson. No, I don't need a point guard. I need a shooting guard. Rex Chapman. He's a big-time scorer. Griffith shoots a lot. I'd rather get somebody that's like defensive-minded. Anthony Bowie. Let me see if this one. It's still a star and a half. They're trying to trade me back Mark Bryant. It's kind of funny. Mookie Blaylock's a great defender, but a point guard. There are some different people on this. That's interesting, because usually if you put a pick that's the same stars, you get the same offers. Alright, I guess we just deal with it. Reggie's got 4 to 6 weeks left. We're going to hope we are good enough. Oh boy. Before I might forget about this. So is anybody extending? No. Nobody's eligible. None of those guys I don't think I'd want to re-sign anyway at this point. So here we go. No, we are not stopping. Oh my god, I lost again. So second loss comes after 38 wins. It's a 2-point loss to the Hornets. They are not above 500. Johnston, oh my gosh, this is the team that has like nobody. Oh well, we have to lose some games. Kellogg leads the team. Has not been happening much. Ewing, since coming back from his injury, has not been very good. Del Curry, 2 for 10. Please stop. Fox and Eaton beat the Hawks by only 4. Mike Sanders leads the team. This time Porter was not the leading scorer. Stockton leading it for the Pacers. Ewing fouled out in this one. Kellogg, Gary Payton doesn't look like he's liking the starting role so much. Rodman's rebounds are definitely down. Oh, 2 to 4 weeks now for Reggie. he's going to come back pretty fast from a broken leg, it seems. I want to see split stats as a starter. He's only shooting 39%. He is getting way more assists. Del Curry has been really awful. I should probably take him out. Fox has been a little better and doesn't need as many shots. Alright, so do this and say goodbye to Del Curry. I guess we could also, let's give Steve Kerr a chance. Why not? I'd like Rice to play more small forward. And then this can be Kerr. And this can be Fox. Whoops, no, that's Rodman. So that has to be Kerr. Maybe give 1 minute back to Ewing somewhere. Let's do... Eaton gets to play 1 minute. Kind of funny. Okay. Try that for these 2 games before the break. We're still 10-man. It's just we subbed in Kerr for Curry because he's been awful. He had a chance in 7 games. And I don't know if they did good in any of them. He was 3 for 6 and 2 for 4. Those were his best games. And he's not really making his threes, which is what I would want him to be doing. He's 18% at them, even though he's only 76. Okay, so he's not a three-point shooter that the real-life Del Curry was. Let's go ahead and get through here. We did beat the Clippers. Finish off some of these real players here to scout. I feel like there's still a couple real guys. Anybody? Oh, yep. Chris King, Matt Geiger. Anybody who's not in the 90s, if you're using any of my draft classes, if their number is a 90, they're not real. If they're anything else, they are real. So there you go. Have I won championships? Oh, I will show you since you asked. Alright, there's the scouting. 2 more wins. Let me look at these stats real quick, and then I'll show you the outcome of the season so far. Well, we held the Clippers to 6 points in the first quarter. That's a good start to the game. Ewing had a great game, thank you. I guess giving him his extra minute helped him. Steve Kerr in his first rotational minutes was terrible, 0 for 5. Got Kemp with a double-double. Payton was a little better. On the Clippers side, it is Karl Malone leading the team. Cummings continues to be a great player. And then we beat the Hawks by 25, so that's good. Terry Porter led their team again. Patrick Ewing, he heard me call him out that he's been not very good since his injury. Glenn Rice, 28. I'm guessing that's a season high. 20 assists for Stockton. Payton not shooting well as a starter. Alright, since you asked if I've won any championships, let me go to the league history. NBA history. So MVP-wise, Patrick Ewing got his first MVP. So we started in 83-84. That was where my NBA era's mode started. Magic Johnson won every MVP until this past season. But championship-wise, we've won 5 in a row. So we are the new dynasty of the NBA. The Lakers won the first 2 when we did it. I made the finals in the 3rd year, but lost in 7 games to the Jazz. And then overcame the Lakers the next season. And then the last 4 have all been against the Blazers, who have Clyde Drexler and Akeem Olajuwon. So, yes, winning championships and dominating the league while doing so. Let's go see who made the All-Star team. Any transactions? Yes. Oh my. Not just my trade. So here's my trades. Drazen. Here's my trade of Mark Bryant. Sixers signed Lester Connor. The Cavs traded Paul Pressey for a first and Bobby Phills. So the Lakers trying to get a little better. I think Bobby Phills might have been starting at shooting guard for them. Sixers trade Gamble and Hanslick for Derek Smith. Hanslick was on my team last year. Sixers are making all sorts of moves here. Trading Sellers for John Williams. Spurs trade Banks and Grandison for Sigma and Houston. Those are positions they don't really need. Now I have no idea who their starting power forward is. Celtics trade Griffith for a fake person. Wow, okay. Injury-wise, now we've got Doc Rivers hurt. He lost his kneecap. Award races. Stockton's in front of Ewing now. Worthy is hurt. Severe ankle sprain, so he's probably going to fall out of this pretty quickly. Maybe Magic Johnson will replace him. Both Blazers are doing yet again amazingly. Larry Johnson broke his ribs, but still leading the Rookie of the Year race. Sixth man, the mailman. Defensive player. Ewing's not in here anymore. That's sad. Blazers got their two guys. Most improved. Gary Payton's now second, even though his shooting has gone down. Season awards. Kellogg got a player of the week. That seems kind of random. Terry Cummings gets one. Otherwise, it's all Blazers, Lakers. Michael Jordan gets his first of the year. Player of the month. Now it's... Oh, we already looked at that. That's right. Stockton. Here we go. All-Star participants. John Stockton and Patrick Ewing are starters for, I think, the third time? I don't know how many years in a row they've started. Harper, Bird, and Robinson. So Harper beat out Tim Hardaway and Michael Jordan, who is still not averaging enough points. I don't know what happened to his 34 minutes that he was playing earlier in the season. Sabonis, Dominique, Barkley. Kellogg did make it. Wow. So that's his fourth All-Star. 2 in a row. Good stuff. So Reggie doesn't make it this year, unfortunately, because he's got a broken leg. I'm not sure. He might have beat out Moncrief. I mean, he was fourth in the list, so I guess he would have. So I might have had 4 All-Stars again. In the West, these are the usual guys starting in the West. Byron Scott. Looks like there'll be some injury replacements, though, with Worthy and Mullen out. Scott Skiles makes it. So starting point guard and backup point guard make it for the Rockets. Dunk contest, Sean Kemp, John Starks, Kendall Gill, and Willie Burton, who evidently won't be in it because his left hand is broken. I'm not sure who will be in it. Can't replace people. Three-pointers. There were three-point contests. I mean, John Stockton makes it because he's shooting 49%. 3D, Barrows, Starks, Hart. So Starks is in the slam dunk contest and three-point contest. Mark Price is only shooting 37%, but is in the three-point contest. It's 90 at it. In the rookie-sophomore game, I'm going to override this fake person with, I guess, Felton Spencer. Or maybe Dwayne Coswell. He has more points and more rebounds, so let's go with Coswell. Don't want fake people being in things. Richard Dumas. And on the other side, Willie Burton is hurt. Gary Payton makes it. Cool. I don't really have anybody. My rookie's Rick Fox, and he's not played nearly enough to be in this. Alright, let's go ahead and see how these go through. Oh boy, a 24-point win for what's labeled as the rookie team, although they're not all rookies. It's just a mix of rookies and sophomores. This is not the team that Gary Payton was on. So I'm on the losing side. Gary Payton did have 17 points, though. Alright, let's see if Sean Kemp can win a slam dunk contest. He did not. Dominique Wilkins replaced Willie Burton, evidently. Dominique is like 31, 32 and is in the dunk contest. That's pretty cool. Dana Barros wins 3-point. I'm going to click play and see if they have their jerseys yet. Nope. I don't know. I don't know if I just loaded too early. They're supposed to have their real All-Star jerseys. Maybe now that I click play, I can see who replaced the injured people. Is that a thing? It was in the West. So Aguirre slides into the starting lineup for Worthy. And, oh my god, Pooh Richardson is an all-star. 15 points, 8 assists. Is 77 overall all-star. Karl Malone also made it. So a lot of injury replacements. Roy Tarpley, for whatever reason, because the Blazers are good, they get 3 all-stars. Let's see. John Stockton hurt his wrist in the All-Star game. This happened last year, too. Clark Kellogg did something. And I can't... Oh, my gosh. I'm guessing he'll be back by the time I actually play a game. But he's actually injured to where he can't play. So I have to do my lineup. Which means Glenn Rice is going to be starting for the time being. Whoops. Except I did that totally wrong. Payton is the point guard. Rice is the shooting guard. And Del Curry's probably back in the rotation. So this is going to be Kerr. Alright, and then we will do something like that. What does this need to be? Shooting guard? It could be Rice? Something like that, and then Curry comes in here. It's kind of silly that I'm taking all the time for this because it's probably not going to be necessary. We're going to let Rice start the quarter. Finish there. This is Curry. This is Fox. I'd like to have Rice in where Ewing is not, because those are now my top 2 scorers, probably. I don't really like Del Curry playing deep into the 4th quarter, but I'm not sure what else to do. Something like that, I guess. Need to give Ewing his minutes back. Oh, no, not there. Whatever. Like I said, it's probably not going to even be needed because Stockton will be back before I even get to a game, I would imagine. Could be wrong. Alright. The West won by 1. Rather low scoring for an All-Star game, but it looks like Olajuwon's probably your MVP of the All-Star game. Ewing did lead the East at 25. We got Kellogg getting 10 points. Stockton had 8 assists, didn't shoot very well. I'm going to go ahead and simulate this day just to see if he comes back. He sure didn't. Okay. Alright, well, at the All-Star break, the Pacers are 41-2, which is 14 and a half games above second place Hawks. Worst team right now is the Bucks with 7 wins. Over in the West, the top team is the Warriors, so 10 games back from the Pacers overall. Blazers and Lakers, who have been dominating the West this entire time, are in the middle of the playoff picture. If we look at the mock draft, the Nuggets now have the worst record in the league, so that is a pick that I have, along with the Bulls, Knicks, and Pistons. Sonics, Spurs, Mavericks. The Jazz have really turned it around. Thought they'd be really bad. I do have my pick back, but that is a swap with the Hawks, who are here. So a lot of picks that I won't be holding on to, all in hopes to get the number 1. League leader-wise, James Worthy leading the league in his return to LA. Nick Anderson is 3rd, ahead of Patrick Ewing. Rebounds, Ewing is leading. Kevin Willis in his first year with Miami. 2nd. Rookie Billy Owens is getting 10 rebounds a game. Assists, Stockton ahead of Bogues. Steals, Drexler, Jordan, Pippen, and Stockton. Blocks, we got a tie. Robinson, Mutombo, and Ellison. Ewing is in 5th. Turnovers, Mitch Richmond leading the league. Purvis is fouling a lot. James Worthy not only leading the league in scoring, but shooting the best, along with Magic Johnson. Where the first pacer is, probably Ewing. Nope, Sean Kemp, 53.6. Shooting the most is Tom Chambers, because he's the only 80-plus overall player on the Nuggets. Why they have the worst record. Ewing is 6th there, 3-point percentage. John Stockton's 2nd. Alvin Robertson's 1st, but doesn't shoot that many. Dennis Scott shoots the most in the league. Reggie's top 10. Lots of people shooting great free throws. Michael Jordan's 3rd, but BJ's 1st. Hakeem shooting the most free throws. Anderson's 2nd, Ewing's 3rd. Reggie not shooting quite as many as he did last year. So there you have it. That's where we're at the break. When we pick up next time, we'll get through the rest of the season and as well through the playoffs. See if we can get yet a 6th championship for the Pacers. Till then, thanks for tuning in. Shoeshak Redemption out.